Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. As of doing this video, yesterday Games Workshop posted up their 10th edition rules for terrain. And I just wanted to talk about terrain for 40k briefly because of this. I often wonder whether Games Workshop really understand what they're doing with the terrain rules. They never seem to quite flow or balance out the way that the rest of the rule system does. Shortly after 8th was released, I was at Warhammer World and talking to a member of the Games Workshop staff. So, take this with a pinch of salt. But it was put to me that the terrain rules, or generally the rules in 8th in general, were what were classed as the 9-year-old rule, which basically meant if you couldn't explain it in 1 or 2 sentences to a 9-year-old, it had to be reworked or just didn't go in the rules. And the terrain rules were very much covered by this from what they were saying. But it doesn't really work. They seem to want to complicate terrain rules on one hand, but simplify them on the other. And personally, I think the way to do it is to just simplify it. I would point to how one-page rules do their terrain rules. Very, very simple. Essentially, all you need to do is, if it's a terrain piece, say woods, swamp, barricade, something like that, if the unit is within range or inside that terrain piece, they get +1 to their save, as generally it does at the moment for 40k. If you're trying to fire through a piece of terrain like that, you get -1 to hit. Simple's done. If you've got something like difficult terrain, craters or whatever, you could say that they give the cover save, and if you really wanted to, they slow people down -2 movement. Simples. Ruins, essentially, again, you can't shoot through, they get the cover save, and you can't, you can fire in and out. Basically what we've got, but explained so much easier. Instead of having 1,001 keywords for everything. And I think what Games Workshop have shown us under this new preview is a little bit of a step in the right direction. But something still niggles me that they haven't simplified it enough. But it's going to be one of those things that we see once we've actually got the rules and we are playing it. Something else that I wanted to comment on with terrain, though, that they haven't mentioned in this, and I hope is going away. There's kind of a slight hint of it that they have said, but I'm going to just comment. Under 9th, if a ruin was, I think it's 5 inches or height, it effectively became an infinitely tall piece of line of sight blocking terrain. So if you had snipers, eliminators, snipers, rangers, whatever, sat on the top of a tall building, they can't fire over a small ruin at the unit they can plainly see in line of sight. And I've never liked that rule. I think it's very silly. Because why would you do that? I've had somebody comment last night to say it's there to stop models that are slightly too big, picking out a defiler, I think was their example, because the top of its head or an antenna is showing over the top of the ruin. Or it's to stop people being penalised for having small sized terrain. And I get that, but that's not the purpose of Games Workshop's rules. They shouldn't be going, oh, well, there's players out there with very small terrain pieces, so we'll put this in. That's not their job. If you have line of sight, you should be able to fire on it. Simple as. And I'm hoping that's what they've done with 10th. So it's just some very basic thoughts. Terrain should be the simplest part of the system. It does this or it does this. No fancy keywords, no silly paragraphs of text. Just have it something that everybody can understand at the table, and let's get on with it. Hopefully, that's how the 10th edition terrain rules will work once we get some games in with it. Okay, end of vid. What are your thoughts? How do you find the current terrain rules compared to what they've previewed? And what are your thoughts on the true line of sight idea? Pop your comments down below. We'll have a discussion. Give me a thumbs up. And if you enjoy it, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care. Good gaming.